recording.
Oh, it's recording me. Help.
Welcome to Planet Hex. You know who I am. Would you like to introduce
No,
yourself?
who are you? Who are you? I don't know. Why am I here?
Well, I'm Andrew Horn, but sometimes you know me as Mr. Hex. And
All right,
sometimes
I know
I
Mr. Hudson. He's played guitar for me a few times.
yeah, sometimes I stand next to you on a stage and play guitar too loud.
But do I know who I am? That's the thing. I know that is a good question. I mean, that is always a difficult one to answer. Anyway,
Who are you today?
Who am I today? I'm still Derek. I'm just always Derek, aren't I? You know, I mean,
Yes.
even though I dress up like a ridiculous fool like this, you see, or absurd amounts of makeup just to do a sort of silly interview. That's not
Why
fair, is
not?
it? Call it silly interview. Do some kind of chat about VHS tapes. I just thought, maybe I can
Mate,
look more sort of 80s sort
I'm
of
as
villain or
niche as
something.
it
I don't know.
gets. Don't worry.
I'm
It's a niche show on a niche channel talking directly to niche people. This is all par for the course with them.
Also, big shout out to Fabulous Holy Grail.
Absolutely.
I did
Absolutely.
want to do this. I just let you see some of the other videos behind me. I thought I'd set up a
Oh,
few
yes.
ones.
Some nice ones there.
Yeah, we got an old Fantastic Four animated thing. What's that? Grey Eagle. That's a pretty unusual.
Well, I see the Sentinel at the top.
Yeah, that's quite a
Rambo.
nice one. Got Rambo the animated series. I've seen that do some really good money in the past. I saw one sold for about 50 quid a while back.
That's not bad. Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah.
Classic.
And that Land of No Return is a very nice video, I think. Splash, I don't know what it's on it. Sentinel, Godsend, and people getting to see far too much of what an absolute chaotic mess I live in.
I wouldn't have you any other way, mate. So,
Blood Diner there, that's a computer. You never mind VHS tapes, just look at them. That's enough, right? Anyway.
So you've been dealing in these for many years.
Thousands of them over there. I mean, I wouldn't dream of letting you see over there.
No.
There's a big pile of them there as well. I've got VHS tapes every bloody where.
There was that classic video of yours where you were far younger, showing thousands of tapes.
Going back sort of nearly 20 years now. These sort of old workplace in Doncaster. Places to sell videos from on the interweb nets on Amazon mainly, called Cunningham Road, Doncaster.
So you've been doing this for a while now. How do you see the interest in VHS there is at the moment with all the meetups and the clubs and it gets talked about online a lot, and there's idiots like me doing things like this, and these VHS Mikey and loads of other people, and Gareth on Video Tasties. How does it come across to you as someone that's been dealing in these things forever?
I don't know. Just want to sell them and make loads of money, whilst also kind of enjoying having them for a while.
They are fun. They are fun.
I mean, the thing is, frankly, in a way, I sort of, I have no sort of particular interest in sort of meeting up with anyone else into VHS tapes other than yourself, really, frankly. But I don't want to go to meetings or anything to do with sort of, VHS tapes great, unless I can sell them all to people and make lots of money. I mean, I do love VHS tapes, but I love selling them as well.
I understand that. Please buy Derek's tapes, everyone. They are very high quality.
Not easily find them, but get in touch with Doyle Band or something and see what 1,000 or
I'll
so
put a
tapes.
link down below, and they can get you through JDB.
I mean, it's very, very, very harsh of me, obviously, to sort of say that I don't care. And it's like I don't care about VHS tapes, but I do. I adore them hugely, but I adore making money from them even more.
I could understand that. I'm quite fond of doing that from the books.
Yeah, I mean, I love having them, and the thing is, I can talk very much about sort of my history with them, sort of growing up with VHS tapes and renting stuff and so forth. that I can very much talk about, but about the modern scene, or like, it's. I mean, it probably mean I get like loads of haters now from your channel. You know, oh, why can't you just sort of come and hang out with us and talk about how great? No,
it's so mate, they've seen you on the channel before. They know what they're in for. If do go and check out my videos of playing shows with Derek, because they're just fun.
I mean, you know, I do love the appreciation for them, and I mean, I adore. I mean, I think I just love, you know, having such tapes as that one. And I just love what they represent. But you know, I mean, I don't care about having them long term, but it's lovely to at least have them for a while, sort of thing. And
yeah,
I just love what they sort of represent in what they have been and that sort of thing, and just that feeling that what they evoke in terms of what it might have been like at the time, you know. And obviously I now want to regress into the dim and distant days of my childhood of going to, say, Angie's videos here in Doncaster, which was upstairs above sort of about halfway down Scott Lane in Doncaster, and they used to have an arcade machine up there as well, which was a Space Invaders-ish game, but I can't remember I've no idea what game it was, but it was like tabletop version, and I used to like playing that. And I think there was like a snooker club to one side, and I used to go in with my mum, probably about 10 years old or something, and we'd it would have Betamax back then, of course.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Oh, I've always. That's the thing that you should know about me. I'm absolutely. If you want to know what format not to buy, follow what I decide I should have. I mean, I've got a brilliant history. You know, we kick off with Betamax, and then, you know, what sort of, I mean, and then I'm on the Spectrum, that of course dies before the Commodore 64. But and then what shall I move on to from the Spectrum? I know I'll go on to the Amiga, and of course that pretty much died a death immediately after, with the PC taking over.
Yep.
All right. What next? Let's have a games console then. All right, let's have a Sega Saturn. Well, that turned out well. Never mind. Okay,
You're really picking things well, aren't you?
I mean, you know, the next one absolutely going to nail it. It's going to like, it's sort of like you can play with like up to 20 million. I'm not sure, 50 million other people. You know what I'm on about. You know what machine might you play with like up to 50 million players or whatever it was? Yes, of course. I went on to the Dreamcast. You know, I mean, you know. Perfect choice after perfect choice. Never mind. Okay, well,
Lord of the underdog format. That's you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that didn't work out. All right, you know, and also as a sort of music recording format, what do I choose? Obviously, mini disc. You know, that worked out well. And all right, well, following all that, what did I move on to after the Dreamcast? Obviously, the Xbox was the natural choice. And so we continued. So there you go. They've definitely want to. But anyway, back to VHS tapes. Yes, and like going to Angie's videos in Doncaster was always a thing that I loved to do. And I remember sort of renting, say, Ewok's Caravan of Courage, Battle for Endor, isn't it?
Yes.
As well. And Techno Cops was a particular favourite of mine as well.
I don't remember that.
It's a Japanese animation. I think I've got a few wrestling VHS tapes as well. I think I remember getting, say, like WrestleMania 4 out and this sort of thing. You know,
nice.
I've got millions of these. See, what else have I got here? We've got fancy a bit of Cyber Slam 96, and I got these out to prop up the camera to use with the PC, but you know, that didn't work out. So I'm having, and that's not something I arranged, but something I was watching very much in the 90s. Very good animation.
Excellent.
Bubblegum Crisis.
I love Bubblegum Crisis. I love it dearly. Hulkamania.
Mr. Mad Wrestler, you know.
Aged well, didn't it?
Wrestling great again.
You know, I've known you years now, and I didn't know you like Bubblegum Crisis. I absolutely adore that.
I love Bubblegum Crisis. I read
Absolutely
the
love it.
Adam Warren comic as well, which was quite a thing. You used to get like this sort of thing quite a lot, like greatest matches and
If
stuff.
you ever come across a Bubblegum Crisis T-shirt, put that on eBay immediately. I saw one for like just shy of
I can't
200
say
quid.
I've ever seen one of them. Fancy World Tour '92.
Nice.
I've got millions of things around here. I mean, I've got like up there, up there somewhere. There's a box like filled with wrestling. So that's exciting stuff for
Big
me to
box
see.
of wrestling. I'm going to the wrestling on Saturday, actually. There's a free show at Nebula, your cyberpunk themed wrestling arena in Sherwood, of all places.
Sounds like it would be sort of my cup of tea in a
Yeah,
way.
good fun.
I'd probably be a bit busy elsewhere anyway. I mean, it's Eurovision on Saturday.
Understandable. Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
so,
that...
I mean, let me finish about my incredible VHS tales. You know, this is a podcast where you get to talk. This is about me and my wonderful history with VHS, you know. And, you know, there was Angie's videos. That was one I went to. But there was also, it was Video House on Hallgate, but it later changed to Ritz Video.
Oh, yes.
Interesting thing about that one, I think when it had changed to Ritz, I'm not totally sure about this. It's now a pub, actually, interestingly.
Not that interestingly, but yeah.
No, but it's interesting that it's changed from like a shop to a pub. But
yeah,
anyway, I think it's interesting. How dare you say it's not interesting? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I was. I don't know. You've now interrupted my train of thought about what I was on about. Anyway, yeah. So
it was a Ritz,
that one.
yes.
Yeah, and I know that, but we know that. We want to tell you about this interesting thing about them. Honestly, interrupt. What do you think this is about you or something? Anyone want to think this is your YouTube channel or something? Anyway, it might have been when it was Video House. It might have been when it was Ritz, but they did used to have videos for sale that were rental as well, as they were sort of brand new, so to speak. And they used to be absolute crazy, massive prices, about £40 or more.
God.
You know, and back then, we're talking late 80s. That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you could buy it as it came out. And I used to like go to some intake like Apollo Video, and used to often rent videos on a Friday night with when I'd go and stay with my grandparents in Woodlands, Doncaster. And sometimes the video van would come around. That was always an interesting.
A video van? I never had a video van. That sounded amazing.
It was just awesome. It's like this Ford Transit van, a sort of bit like Del Boy, you know. I think that's a transit van. No, that's not a three-wheeler. Anyway, it's that sort of shape, you know, like the Robin Reliant-ish shape, you know, with the back of the thing is filled with videotapes, and you just browse what you want. So there was that. That was fun sometimes, but there was also I think it was Dens on the shop fronts in Woodlands, which was a sort of general store, but had a section of videotapes, and that one was really kind of fun because that one seemed a bit sort of underground kind of thing. Not that we really rented it particularly exciting or anything, but but in Woodlands, I remember particular two which sort of really rather stuck in my memory of like Until the End of the World, which I later saw on DVD and eventually got the 4.5 hour version. But that one didn't go down very well with anyone that I watched with other than me. But and Children of the Night was an intriguing one. I think it might have some Fangoria connection. I'm not sure, but look up that one. That's kind of intriguing. It's just like possibly the most significant sort of really memorable thing is like when the vampires sort of go to sleep, so to speak, they sort of vomit out their lungs onto their chest. But it's quite a good film. I put it on Shortdown a while ago. Anyway, so yeah, there's some of my exciting video store tales. I mean, there used to be one at the bottom shop of my parents' street, and we had member number 27. You'll be excited to know, and used to go and get things out from there. But my dad didn't know, and once I forgot to return one, and I got a massive trouble about that because the shop came to the door and my dad was like, "What, you've rented a VHS tape and it's 18 rated? This is disgusting." Yeah. So anyway, that's the. I mean, the thing I've rented videos and videos and videos for years since sort of the late 80s, and so I do. And the thing is, I do have such a sort of passion for them. I love what they've always represented, and not necessarily knowing what you're going to get, and just the browsing for them in those days of VHS tapes was just something just so exciting. You know, like I saw flesh-eating mothers that way, and so forth.
Yes. Was it the gaudy artwork and stuff that leapt out at you, or things like Liquid Sky, for example, that comes to you in a different way?
Liquid Sky was much later. I didn't see that until the 2000s.
Right. Okay.
I didn't see that until it was a trailer on a VTC videotape, I think, and I'm not sure if I ever got the actual tape of that. I don't think I ever got the tape, but with that, it was the trailer sold it to me on the VTC. So, yeah, I mean, this has been a wonderfully informative video, I think, for anyone who's interested in the current scene of videotapes. A lovely bit of information in detail about what it's like these days to collect VHS tapes. Yeah, no, hang on.
But is it nice for someone that deals in them to see more interest in them around?
Well, only thing I would say is there's far too many sort of Facebook groups selling them for next to nothing. That's disgraceful. I used to do a lot better on them, actually, in like the earlier, about sort of 10, 15 years ago. I used to have a market stall in Sheffield, and Army of Darkness was a really popular seller, and I used to get like £15 for that. And Fright Night Part 2 was always a very, very sought after.
I love that one.
I've never seen it. I didn't like Fright Night that much. I thought it was a bit.
I prefer the second one. It's much better.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it at some point. But yeah, when I moved, my market stall in Sheffield got robbed and practically cleaned out once. So then we moved to Doncaster, only to 3 years later, the same thing happened there. But anyway, I moved to Doncaster, and pretty much no sooner we moved to Doncaster, but like loads and loads of people were buying wrestling videos for really, really good money in like really large amounts, sort of thing. You know, I used to do hundreds on the wrestling. I think the first day I opened, I did about £400 on videotapes at around a tenner each. But you know, Army of Darkness and Fright Night 2 were definitely some of the most popular ones. Yeah, they were always really good. So yeah, I mean, it is good that there are people still very much interested in them. You know, it does potentially bode well for me getting. I mean, the thing is, in many ways, I should probably sort of just like dump all these something. I sell them. I just can't sort of bear the idea of just letting them go for next to nothing, because to me they're precious objects. But I mean, I just want some good money for them in order to part with them, and in the meantime I have to live in absolute chaos. But you know,
I understand. They need to go to someone that's going to appreciate them.
Yeah, I mean, my bedroom is filled with VHS tapes as well. It's quite ridiculous. I've like above my head there's about 500 VHS tapes on the wall or something. Well, probably not that many, but a few hundred anyway. But yeah, which I have to, for some reason I decided I need to arrange them by label, because I'm strange like that sometimes. But yeah, so it is good that there's definite interest in them, and who knows, maybe I'll take some to sell at that 80s video shop at some point.
My tape stock is happening again later this year. I think it's in October.
Yeah, I think I'll have to see if I can make that, if I'm not off over being a rock star in St. Louis or something, you know.
This does happen, or elsewhere. You're off being a rock star in many places.
I mean, being an incredible, famous rock star with billions and billions of fans, you know, throughout the galaxies, you know, and I have played this year in New York, you know, so you know, that it does make me incredibly famous and special. I mean, there might have only been the other bands to play to, but that's beside the.
I do think that that JDB should have been on an 80s soundtrack somewhere, something like The Hunger or something like that, you know.
Yeah, probably, maybe eventually, you know. I did do a sound track for a film, but anyway, that's by the by. We were talking about VHS tapes, but not John Doyle Band. Even though John Doyle Band are quite an excellent band with an incredible sense of style and performance, that sometimes features Mr. Hex on guitar, and you can see them next in Gateshead at the Black Ball doing a more gothy set, and then in Morecambe on the that's on the 24th, and then on Morecambe on the 30th, where we open the Black Hole Sun Festival, where Black Hole is spelt BLAQ hole, so which makes it somewhat difficult to find, and that's about £50 for about 12 bands, I think, something like that. Anyway, so that's a nice festival in Morecambe at the end of the month. But anyway, but yeah, VHS tapes, aren't they great, everyone? But Betamax was better, obviously, even though we had a video.
It was, as much as I love VHS, Betamax was better quality. That was my first player. It was a Betamax when I was 10.
I'm not sure I could really notice a great difference, but I was really young anyway, so But they were kind of cute tapes anyway. I've got one VHS. I've got a couple of VHS tape, Betamax tapes here actually. Let me just go grab one for you because you need to see a Betamax tape. Hold on. Right. Okay. Let's see. I thought in the meantime you might like a bit of Shogun Assassin.
Oh, nice.
Nice bit of Shogun Assassins.
Is that on Betamax?
No, that's VHS.
Oh, right. I'm getting. Oh, it's the Vipco one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, this is the Betamax.
Dark Ride.
I'm
not familiar with that. That's that's a nice looking package.
That's what I thought. I mean, that's the thing I love about just these intriguing packages and that sort of thing.
Very different. It's weird seeing one of those after so long.
Yeah. So I just have millions and millions of tapes around. So anyway, we're going to have to. We'll probably sort of wrap this up because I'm going to
run out of Zoom time.
I've waffled about all manner of things incessantly without ever really addressing what is the purpose of your channel.
It's fine. I'm just pleased to have you here.
Talked about VHS tapes. That's enough, right?
And any words in closing other than just buy your VHS?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just want to show just another tape because I'm just obsessed with them. Really,
that's fine by me.
Look, I've got loads more boxes and stuff from here. But,
marvelous.
This one, The Last American Virgin.
Yes,
really quite fascinating. I'm fascinated also by some of the cover art, such as I think there's this one called Abducted, which I've had. I don't think I've got it anymore, but it has blubber cups on the actual cover. That is to say, boobs. By the way, if people don't know, blubber cups comes, at least for us, for me and my friends, from the film Galaxy, which I think I first had on VHS tape, and I love that film. It's so stupid.
That is fun. Yeah, that is remarkable.
But, the captain is sort of watching a video or something, or having a video call with a woman with about 6 boobs, and he just says something like quivering Venusian blubber cups. And that just so stuck in our minds.
Fantastic.
We've always called any scene with boobs in, it's always blubber cups now. We just love being silly like that.
I think that's a perfect point to end this.
Yeah, I mean, I could go on with picking out videotapes for about 1 million years with this. I mean, there's The Powers of Evil with Jane Fonda over there, which is quite an attractive cover, and stuff like that. I've just got loads of them, and they're just so exciting, these different covers, and what might they contain? Typically something absolutely atrocious, but hey, that's the risk you take.
That was the gamble.
Yeah, and that's the kind of fun aspect. You don't see a trailer or anything; you just buy and hope for the best.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me with your tapes and your stories. It's greatly appreciated.
I could have gone on forever because when I get talking about things, I never shut up, frankly. So
this is true. I can vouch for that, but it is always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for joining me on Planet Hex.
All right, so and people check out John Doyle Band if you want some
down below. Not there. I mean, down below the video.
Yeah. All right. Bye for
Cheers,
now,
Derek.
then.
Thanks a lot, mate.
All hail VHS.